Hello Facebook. How are we doing today? So today we're going to go over civil and criminal law and liability on the two. I'm actually going to go over actual course material today. So we're going to go through here. I got a class going. We'll be going off. This is day 2. We've got 7 students, a few people looking for jobs, recruiters out there, employers. Come see me. So let's recap going over Module 8. Question 1, what's the cardinal rule security should adhere to? That's going to be your company policy. Company policy is going to dictate anything and everything you do. All right. The authority. You know, it's a nice true false. We got police authority, security authority, both come from the state. Well, that's a false statement. Okay. The authority comes from the people around you. All right. Your job. Your company policy is going to tell you what you can and can't do. All right. Biggest hurdle for the state to overcome improving a crime is going to be establishing intent. We saw that with the, we talked about the Zimmerman case. How come he didn't get charged with murder? Well, he didn't start out with the intent to commit the crime. What is it really? Negligent homicide, but what do I know? I'm just a security instructor. Talk about what is the taking or possession of property of another with the intent to deprive the owner of the property and its use for benefits. It's going to be theft. You got 3 different classifications: theft, burglary, robbery. Theft, shoplifting. Burglary, breaking into a building, conveyance, structure, vehicle, burglary, taking something out of it, boom. Robbery. Robbery, you ever heard the term strong arm robbery, this, that, and the other? That's taking something, depriving another person of it by force, by use, whatever, by threat or action. You're actually taking it from another person, okay? Moving on, defense attorney can prove his client not guilty by establishing in the mind of the judge or the jury reasonable doubt, that's the word. All right, we're moving on. To use force, you have to establish that the aggressor had the ability to hurt you. Yeah, you can't just go smacking anybody around you want to. God knows there's a lot of people that get smacked. Criminal law concerns itself with moral duties. Obviously, that is not true. If we actually did the morally correct thing, the morally obligated things to do, I mean, there'd be a lot of people free for doing bad things and a lot of other people jailed for stupid minor crimes. All right. Force can be used as an option in lieu of other alternatives. It's a false statement. The funny thing is, though, is you got to understand that you're always using force when dealing with the general public anyway. Whether it's your physical presence alone is an escalation in force. We talked about that previously, where you're the one with all the weapons on you for the most part if you're actually wearing full duty gear. Other than that, in security, your presence alone with the badge is a representation of law, whether it's going to be civil or criminal. So, technically, it's actually a true statement, but for this test, which is, like I said, half of it useless, is false. Why is the burden so high on the state? You're going to have to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. All right? 7 principles of crime. Don't know why you need to know it, but apparently you do. Legality, mens rea, harm, causation, actus reus, concurrence, and punishment. Don't ask me what it is because I have no idea, to be honest with you. What's the 4th Amendment? Protects U.S. citizens from illegal search and seizure. All right. Let's move on to Module 9 here. You need to remember number 1, 4, 5, and 6. All right. Negligence involves someone not doing something they were supposed to be doing, or the act of doing it improperly. What do you think? True? Yeah. Right. It's like ignorance of the law does not exclude you from it. Oh, I'm sorry, officer, I didn't know what the speed limit was. That's cool, here's your ticket. You still should know. I didn't know it was illegal to kill somebody. Okay. All right. Ignorance, negligence, same thing. A tort is a violation of the law committed against the government. False, that's a civil crime. All right, that's civil. Arrest is in the eyes of the beholder. If someone thinks that they were detained or arrested, then they were. I have 2 answers for this. I've got true and false. So that's awesome.
Glad you said that.
Let me see. Arrest is in the eyes of the beholder. If someone thinks that they were arrested or detained, they were. No, it's false.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. Detainment is in the eyes of the beholder. Arrest is not. You actually have to tell somebody they're being arrested. Because if you're asking me questions, you're going to ask, am I detained? I feel like I'm being detained. That's a detainment. An arrest is completely different. All right, vicarious liability means being directly responsible for the actions of someone else? No. Vicarious liability means being indirectly for the actions of someone else. And that basically means that I, as an employer, I put you on post, you committed a crime, I'm responsible for it. Doesn't mean that I'm guilty of the crime, it just means that I'm responsible for your actions. Would I be charged criminally? No. Civilly though, big time. This is all civil law. The authority that a merchant has to detain and question suspected thieves is going to be known as merchant's privilege. You are allowed to make an arrest under two given pretexts: citizens' arrest laws and merchant's privilege. All right. So basically, that comes down to any retail theft we can make an arrest and detainments on. Police officer asks you to assist in making an arrest. You're covered by the officer's oath of authority. I also talked to you earlier about how if an officer asks you for assistance and you do nothing, you will be held criminally liable for whatever happens to that officer, especially if they're in the fight for their life. That officer loses their life, you will be charged with murder. If you happen to watch somebody beat the officer down, officer's asking for assistance, you do nothing, you'll be charged with battery. If the officer asks you for assistance, you're required by law to help. That doesn't mean get involved in the fight, not at all. If you want to, you think you're capable of, do it. That's awesome. Good for you. Get help. That's all that's required of you, is to get help. Okay? Laws passed by the government which are intended to regulate the activities of the people are called statutes. Legal term referring to the employer being responsible for your employees in action in a civil case is respondent superior. It's actually like respondeat superior or something like that. Superior. In the act of preventing and avoiding civil liability, you should do the following. All the above. Do your job in a reasonable manner. Conduct yourself in a reasonable manner. And keep reasonable notes and notify your supervisor. Florida Department has the authority given by the state under which law? It's going to be regulatory law. Now you're going to have, this is just an FYI, there are three methods of legal search and seizure. Matter of public notice, if I put it up there, all subjects are, all persons entering this building are subjected to search. That's a matter of public notice. Approval or submission, if I ask you, hey, can I search your bag? You say yes, okay. No, don't worry about it, this is an FYI. Your approval or submission, that means you're giving me permission to do so. Or requirement of employment. Basically, if you want to work here, I search you before you come in, and I search you before you leave, whether it's when you lunch break or whatever, because I'm going to make sure you're not stealing anything. You don't want to be searched, you don't work here, that simple. So those are going to be your civil and criminal law and liability portion for this class. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I don't completely fully understand myself, because I don't see how it pertains to what you're really doing, but I'll give you the best information I possibly can with it. And if you have any questions, I'm sure we can find the answers to it. Facebook, that's really how it is, guys. That's how we teach, that's how we do it. I want you to leave here with the knowledge of what you need to know. Teach you what the state requires you to know, but I'm also going to make sure that you leave here having the knowledge and having the capability of doing this job. Not for everybody. Not one of those, hey, it's like quitting your job without notice. Can you do it? Not in this industry. You lose your license. All right, you're abandoning your post. Falling asleep on post. All right, if you fell asleep at work, you're probably going to get reprimanded for it. Fall asleep doing this, you'll lose your license, get a fine. Probably never be allowed to do this again. That's how it is. So popular. One of these buttons, there we go. All right, do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns? No? Good. Facebook, we got anything? Probably not, right? No. Nobody loves me. I'm not Facebook famous yet. I got to do something like crazy. I'm thinking, no, that's on the, hey, that's the lag in the live stream there.
I have a question.
Somewhere. Somebody's watching it and it's lagging, and that's what the noise was. You were getting ready to answer my computer. So awesome. Yes, sir.
On the merchant's privilege.
Yes, sir.
How physical can they get? I mean, I've seen them grab people, and when I was a Publix manager, I've seen our managers grab someone.
Company policy is
lock them in the beer cave.
Yeah. Company policy is going to tell you how much force you can apply to somebody. what your arrest and detainment procedures are gonna be. All right, state law is also gonna tell you that if you wind up hooking up a juvenile, you have to basically get the parent notified, have law enforcement en route, and you can only detain somebody under a, for a certain time frame. We don't want none.
So me and my company, as a supervisor, someone comes onto my property, it's private property. We've had this
Private
happen
property
before.
is your property. That's the best part about it. You are the ultimate authority on private
Well,
property.
I don't know if there's any policies written for that. Now, we had one gentleman trying to hurt another gentleman. He was basically gonna kill him. I wasn't gonna let it happen. I had Fort Myers PD on the phone, told him, you need to get here, I'm gonna put him down. Then he came at me, he was gonna try to hurt me, I put him on the ground, and we all jumped on him and held him until Fort Myers PD came. But at the time, I had to do what I felt was right to protect the other citizen, but I did not know if I did not know the policies of my company, which there really isn't any.
See, here's,
So why I'm here.
here comes the thing about this, and I'm probably gonna get chewed out for telling you this. I could care less what company policy is, I could care less what state law is, because you know what, when at the end of the day, I'm going home. If it comes down to you or me, guess what, I'm choosing me every day. You know why? I have a 3-year-old and a wife at home. I'm going home. And you know what, the other thing is with all of my experience, why am I sitting here in front of you? I told you guys my story, okay? I'm taking the moral high road. I am going home knowing that I did the right thing. To hell with it, I could care less. You know why I have no ass? It's because it's been chewed out. It's not there because it's been chewed out. So much it's not even funny. As a matter of fact, I don't feel anything anymore. I slip off of chairs most of the time. That's why I'm like supporting myself right now. That's what it comes down to me. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably supposed to tell you something else, but I'm
The
going to
funny
tell you.
thing, after the whole thing was said and done, Fort Myers PD let him go. I felt in danger of my life, so I took him down pretty hard. They walked him off the property, said, calm down, you'll be okay, walked him off the property, and that was it. Could have come back at any time and retaliated.
Should have been a trespass notice given, but that's the thing, you're only talking about a piece of paper to prevent somebody from coming back to doing something. It's like a restraining order. That's nothing more than a piece of paper, telling me that I can't come within 100 feet or 100 yards of somebody.
It's just.
Realistically, it's all it is, a piece of paper, better get yourself a gun. I'll tell you right now. Fathers, teach your daughters how to shoot, because that's all it is. A restraining order is nothing more than a piece of paper. Cops are at least anywhere from 7 to 12 minutes as an average response time. Guess what I can do in 7 to 12 minutes? A lot more than you think. So,
Thank you.
always keep that in mind. I'm Mike with the Professional Security Institute. Hope this was enlightening for you. If you have questions, comments, concerns, bitches or grapes, give me a call. 239-936-7044. I'd love to hear from you. If you have questions about security work, I'm pretty much a resident expert on 493 and some 790 stuff. Love your Second Amendment. Come visit us here at Tactical Weapons and Gun Negotiator. Phone number is 239-936-9950. If you have security-related questions, you can call the company, 239-936-9954. Come visit us online, psi4myers.com. Check us out, YouTube, Professional Security Institute. All right? Now listen, it's coming down to, November 8th, the end of days, right? So as usual, guys, please, for the love of God, I'm Mike with PSI. Stay informed.